Okay, welcome to Real Estate Investor Talk, where we dive deep with the leaders shaping the South African property landscape. And I'm your host, Neil Peterson. And today we're thrilled to welcome Sarah Davies, and she's the co-founder and the dynamic force behind the newly launched Velicier luxury real estate brand based in the Atlantic seaboard of Cape Town. And Sarah has an impressive track record in the South African property industry, and now she wants to make an impact in the South African luxury real estate market. Vision is really clear. She wants to meet the sophisticated demands of being an advisor for an elite global clientele looking to invest in South Africa's lucrative real estate market. So welcome to you, Sarah. Wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you so much, Neil. It's lovely to be here.
Absolutely. So listen, tell us a little bit about your property and your career journey, because where did it all start? And how did your early part of your career experiences lead you to the property industry?
Well, I actually was working in Cape Town. When was it? Probably around 2007. And I needed to find a new career because I was suddenly faced with having to move back to PE, which is where I grew up. My mother had a vehicle accident and she needed some assistance. So suddenly my Cape Town life was up and away. And I needed, just to move my entire life to PE. So I needed to find something that I could do there. I was doing some sort of volunteer work, and I didn't actually have a career at the time. So I wanted to get into property. And so that's how the whole thing started.
Wonderful. Fantastic. I mean, there's always something that gives that little knee jerk to get into property. So let's talk a little bit about Velicier, the new brand. So maybe just talk about, it's quite exciting, new brand coming onto the market. Tell us a little bit about, your company, what's your mission, what's your vision, and what kind of niche are you hoping to fill specifically in the Cape Town luxury market?
So our mission is to provide a world-class bespoke service that stands out in the luxury market. And having been in the industry for 14 years, I've built a prolific client base worldwide, actually, because I ended up studying in America for 2.5 years. So I have connections a little bit everywhere. And over the past 5 years, I established our Kailami branch, which is in Johannesburg, and focused a lot on luxury properties there, and worked in a little area that really was quite interesting for overseas buyers. And so I have a focus on foreign buyers as well. So that was really good. And this unique experience has shaped Velicier into a brand with rising standards and offering tailored service for professionals and for the higher market. So very excited about that.
Wonderful. So just give us a little bit about, what is the whole inspiration behind Velicier? Tell us a little bit about what is Velicier? What sparked your interest in this whole real estate and to co-found this brand?
Sure. Well, Velicier was born out of my initial vision to move back to Cape Town. It was not only for family reasons, but also to play out this idea that I had with this new brand in property. I wanted to create a brand that not only deals with the upper echelon of buyers and sellers, but also giving them a very professional service. So it was about setting ourselves apart from the average agency and working with clients who value excellence, and that's just what we're going for.
Wonderful. So just tell us a little bit about, some of the challenges, breakthroughs. I mean, you mentioned obviously in Kailami, you're very successful, and obviously, just talk about some of those breakthroughs that you made and that you've contributed now to your current success, because now you've got a great brand behind you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I guess a key milestone for me was taking a short break from real estate when I decided to, well, my husband and I decided to have children. And I started to explore other industries and getting into, other ways of building a career, I guess. But it didn't take me very long to realize that real estate is really deeply ingrained in my personality and in my life, and I just love it so much. So returning to the industry like really reignited my passion and pushed myself to new heights, which set bigger and much more dynamic goals, and set out to achieve them. So that experience really reminded me that property is like truly in my blood. So it was a big
Wonderful.
milestone for me.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So let's talk, a lot of people are sort of misinformed about real estate. I mean, it's a tough business. It's not an easy business. It's not one that, everybody thinks you sell a house and you make a lot of money and it's, everything goes easy. But there are setbacks, so, there's things that go right, there's things that go wrong. Maybe just talk a little bit about sort of how you handle setbacks, share maybe you might have an experience where you faced a major challenge or a setback.
Mhm.
Maybe just share with the audience and what lessons, more importantly, what it taught you.
Sure. I guess if you're a one-man band, you obviously have setbacks as an individual, with property transactions and things. But a significant challenge I faced more recently with this new brand and sort of trying to grow a team. Also being, in Cape Town and between Cape Town and Johannesburg and having teams in both areas. I face, dedicating time to onboarding new agents or new people coming on board. And it really demands a lot of time. And so real estate isn't for everyone. It's just a field that requires resilience and self-motivation and the ability to thrive without a fixed salary, which can be daunting for a lot of people. And unfortunately, some fall off the wagon when faced with these realities. So this experience really taught me to reevaluate my approach to the growing team, and I've revised sort of the way I interview and the selection process, making it more stringent to ensure only those who have the energy and the drive and commitment are brought on board. So, we really value the self-starters who bring in, the innovation and motivation, and they add a lot of value. So my focus is on sales, and so if I'm not actively working on that, it's time and money lost. So that was quite something to learn. But moving forward, I've learned to sort of prioritize the quality over quantity in team growth and to maintain the standards of this agency going forward.
Wonderful. So let's talk about some of the career highlights, achievements that you're particularly proud of. I mean, are there some upcoming projects or there's some initiatives that excite you? I know you've had some recent success as well in sales as well. So maybe share a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm very proud of the rapid growth that we've achieved so far in Cape Town, and especially proud of the elevating Kyalami's real estate market. But looking ahead, my focus is to keep my Joburg team thriving while expanding our little team here in Cape Town. I have some bold, innovative plans to establish Felicie as the top boutique agency in South Africa. So so I'm excited about it. I'm always very wary of putting my specific plans out there because you always think that you've got these new ideas and then suddenly everybody's doing it. But we do have some pretty dynamic plans and ways of just elevating us as an agency over and above others.
Okay. So maybe let's talk a little bit about the market, what sort of happened because you're dealing with, a lot of potential buyers and sellers in the market. And let's focus in on the Western Cape. So, from your perspective, what are people looking for in real estate? And, what makes it such a good investment for them? What is it that they're looking for? What are you seeing that makes this market such an attractive market and real estate per se?
So Cape Town is an interesting one because you've got you've got the investment side of things where it's a very interesting investment market for investors and developers. And then you've also got the lifestyle for, market, which is people buying for their homes or, where they want to live, and they have a lot of money, so they can afford to buy sort of the 50 millions to the 150 million range house, and it's often their second or third or holiday home or whatever. So there's a lot of different markets that you can look at, but in terms of the investments, real estate offers obviously stability and long-term appreciation and tangible value. So when evaluating a property, it's important to prioritize, if you're looking at the investment side, where is it located, what are the market trends and potential returns. In Cape Town, Atlantic Seaboard alone, the market is booming. So if you look at some of the statistics, there's a lot of sectional title being bought, which is more, the investors will normally go for something like that because it's an affordable range, and it's, you can Airbnb it, you can get rentals there. And the average sales price being around 6 million, which kind of shows you that people are buying those, price ranges. And only in 2015 were we achieving the sales numbers that we are achieving today. And I'm pretty sure 2025 is going to rocket as well. So yeah, I hope that answers a little bit of your question.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, look, I think when we start looking at Cape Town and if we start unpacking it a little bit more, we see that the pricing is very competitive and the quality of properties you're getting in the Atlantic Seaboard versus, say, Saint-Tropez or, the south of France. And, there's really, because we're really playing in that luxury end of the market. So,
Absolutely.
and I think this is where, if you look at Cape Town and the Atlantic Seaboard per se, their track record over the years is there's significant, we've seen significant capital growth, but at the same time, there's always been demand, and we've just got such great value, I think, it's from a price perspective. I'm sure you've seen that as well.
Absolutely. And, we keep getting nominated as the top holiday destination, the most beautiful city in the world, the top food restaurant destination. So, we're still actually very affordable for having the most beautiful city in the world. For travel and food, we're still very affordable in terms of buying property.
Absolutely. So let's go back to a little bit about Velissier, because look, the real estate market and the agency market, and certainly in the top end there, it's very competitive. It's fairly cutthroat. And, Velissier is known for tailored, seamless client experiences. Maybe can you tell us how you can get Velissier to stand out from all the other luxury real estate agencies?
Yes. Sorry, I don't see which question we are on.
Okay, I skipped one.
Oh, you skipped one. Okay.
Yes.
All right, no problem.
This one after that, yeah.
No problem. Okay.
We'll cut this piece out there, Sarah, so don't worry.
Okay.
Sorry, I went off script. I do that sometimes.
No problem. Yeah, I have it in front of me, but
okay, cool.
So that's fine.
Cool. Just cut over here, just the note. Yeah.
All right, great. So our approach is rooted in building genuine relationships, obviously, and providing a bespoke service from the interaction, from the very first interaction that we have with our clients, and to the very last moment, which is post-sale. And actually, for me, there isn't actually really end to that relationship, because one always continues, checks in on your clients years to come, So we ensure that our clients feel valued and heard, and this includes personalized marketing strategies that we have, or, a lot of communication. I'm a big fan of, the universal solvent being communication. So always keeping good communication and going the extra mile, giving a service that's completely over and above what is expected. And that to me is very, very important. So our focus, I guess, to summarize, is quality over quantity, which sets us apart from other agencies. But
Okay,
it is,
wonderful.
yeah, it's very competitive. Yeah.
It is, yeah. So let's, if we look at how has the sort of real estate market in Cape Town evolved since you started Velicia.
Mm.
And I think you've got to sort of adapt, to these changes. So maybe you can share maybe what is it that you've picked up and, have you adapted to these changes?
Yeah, so like we have touched on, Cape Town markets is fiercely competitive. Um, with since COVID, a lot of people have moved here. That includes estate agents from all over the country. So that's increased the number of agencies and number of agents. And so with the Atlantic seaboard alone, the average sales per year is at its all-time high since 2015. So with about 2,500 registrations in 1 year, and 2023 was even higher. So we expect that 2025 will show us even higher numbers, and we want to strategically align ourselves with those trends, curating listings to meet high expectations. So even though the majority of those sales are sort of the lower end, like 6 million rand mark, because that is the lower end of what Velicia is going to be really focusing on. We still need to work those numbers, because those are the high sales, So we're obviously going to be focusing on the higher end properties, which are much more expensive, but they also sell less often. So you're gonna try crack that. But yeah, we're going to, yeah, like I say, it's cutthroat industry, and staying competitive requires relentless drive and adaptability, which I'm pretty good at. So let's
Good,
see.
fantastic. That's good. That's important. So let's talk a little bit about the culture at Velicia, because Velicia means speed. Am I correct? You must tell me. But how does
Yes.
that contribute to overall client experience? Because I think speed is important, and especially in the real estate world where, unfortunately, the speed of the transactions gets slowed down by all the paperwork that gets done. We wish that
Yeah.
blockchain will arrive tomorrow, that we could speed that process up. But let's talk about the company culture. So how would you describe that? And what Velicia and that speed and how does it contribute to overall client experience?
Yeah, so speed is definitely one of the aspects that we take quite seriously. And it's not so much the speed at the end of the deal, but it's at the beginning of the deal that is the most important. Because, for instance, how quickly do you phone your clients back? How quickly do you answer their questions? If you don't phone them back immediately, another agent will, because some clients are not loyal to just phoning one agent. They won't wait on you. So and also speed on getting them a viewing, and speed on getting the documents signed once they've decided to proceed, so all of those things are very important. And if you don't have that speed correct, then you lose the deal, and then you've lost the deal for the seller as well. So um, I I can't stand to be slow, so it's just a natural thing for me to be speedy. And I think that in this game, it's a very good quality to have. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the market. In your view, what elements define a true luxury home? Maybe just give us a descriptor of the market, and even some pricing. I mean, how do you select properties that align with Velicia's standard of excellence and speed?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a true luxury home is defined by its exclusivity, its craftsmanship, and the lifestyle it offers, obviously. And Cape Town obviously has that for going for it. And it's not just about the price tag, but the intangible qualities that make the property exceptional. So the breathtaking views, the architecture, the amenities, and you want to be meticulous in selecting properties that align with our high standards that we've kind of set from the beginning, and ensuring that they resonate with the refined tastes of our clients. and each listing is curated to reflect a balance of all of that. So, we are still at the beginning stages of Elysee, so we can't be as picky with this kind of thing right now. So there are other properties that we are taking that are maybe below the 50 million rand mark at the moment, but they're still very beautiful properties and they stand out. And this is Cape Town, so there's still some element of superior, property. So we are dealing with those right now, but we are heading in the direction of being a lot more picky, or we will have a department that is specifically focused on the elevated properties, which start from about 50 million and will go to say 300 million. But
Yeah.
I don't think a house has sold for 300 million yet in Cape Town, but why not? Yeah, so up to that, those
Absolutely. I think
prices.
it's 270. I think I'm under correction here. I think it's 250, 270, somewhere around there. There was a house recently.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it was Nettleton Road. That's like the big one there. I'm under correction for that one.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that was one of them that was there. So that's the one you're looking for.
Yes, those are the ones we're looking for. But yeah, like I
Absolutely.
say, it's not definitely a challenge that I've set for myself because it's not an easy bracket to crack. Those properties
Yes,
can be on the market for a very long time, and
yes.
you have to have the network to find and match up buyers, and that's going to be our speciality. And obviously, it takes time for us to get there, but we're already dealing with properties in that price range. Well, not 270 right now, but between 50 and 150 million. We have listings right now online. We also have them offline. So we are already building up our portfolio in that sense and building up relationships overseas, and collaborating with very strategic individuals that will help align this goal of mine is to be operating majority in this bracket, basically.
Wonderful. So let's
Yeah.
share. You probably got they're always like success stories, so
Hmm.
they really sort of demonstrate to people, what the expectations can be from a client satisfaction perspective. So maybe, do you have maybe a memorable success story? And I know you do, that
Yeah.
exemplifies Felicia's approach to luxury real estate and clients satisfaction. Have you got a nice example for us there?
Yeah, I think that I touched on it earlier, but during my break from real estate, which was short, but it was over the period where we decided to have children. And I was living in Kyalami at the time, beautiful properties there, big 1 hectare, generally agricultural holdings. And my husband and I were just starting out building. We got a new home and we were building, and we had 2 kids. And um, we befriended an elderly lady in our neighborhood who had lived there since the early 70s. And she really became part of our family, and we cared for her in her final years as she had a little family of her own. So her property was her sanctuary, and she had planted every single tree and plant that was on there. And it just was this magnificent indigenous garden that attracted all sorts of birds and wildlife. And she used to feed the guinea fowl in the evening. And she was just one of a kind, one of those really special souls. And after she passed, it came time for her house to be sold. And it was her wish to have it at least preserved and not, totally bulldozed. And it just I made it my mission to sort of honor her vision by overseeing the entire sales process. And I ensured that the property was paired with just the nicest family, who shared her appreciation for the space and the trees, and they didn't want to cut things down and destroy it, but they sort of made plans for their house architecturally to be amongst the trees and amongst what she had created there. So I know that she's looking down and she's very happy about that. But this experience really reignited my passion for real estate at the time, and just reminded me of the impact that I can have in connecting people with the right homes, and what impact I have in an area, as well, because it has an impact of who moves in there, what do they do, it has an impact on the neighbors and the community, and it and this family owning this property just totally resonated with her values and aspirations. So for me, that was a turning point and really motivated me to elevate my career and just give an amazing service and just care that little bit more about the whole process. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to jump forward, just a little keynote over here to question 16 on future growth. Okay, just so that you know. Because I know you're
Okay.
following this sort of your step
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. And I think we've covered the other two, really. You covered it already, so I don't think it's necessary. Okay,
On
so
16, I have celebrating milestones. Is that not right?
okay, I've moved on to for future growth. I'm moving on to future. Just go 2 ahead. You see future growth?
Sustainability, innovation, future growth. Got it.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
That one.
Okay.
Just so
Yeah.
that you know.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Right. So
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about your plans, strategic goals that you have for Felicia in the coming years. Are there new markets? Are there services or innovations you're planning to introduce? And I know you're going to do a big launch also to the market, to the local market in March as well. So maybe do you want to share some of that?
Yes. Yeah, so to be honest, I'm keeping some of my cards very close to my chest, just because like we said, the market is just so cutthroat, and it's and you put your idea out there, and then suddenly all the agencies are doing it. So I do have some ideas and plans for the future in terms of giving more as an agency or as a property professional who has been in this industry for 14 years. I have a wealth of knowledge, and I would say that I'm very proactive as a salesperson. I'm very good at it, and so I do want to offer sort of those that whole field of knowledge that I have as something that Felice will offer for other agents, and even for people internationally, in terms of property and property investment and the rules and laws of property in South Africa compared to other areas. So all those things will come, but obviously right now in the beginning stages, we plan to just obviously focus on the sales and rentals and building up Kyalami and Cape Town, and just basically I plan to apply the same principles that made me top agent in other regions of South Africa, building my track record and my success. I started in Port Elizabeth. I was, very good at what I did there. I was top of my game there as an agent. And then same thing when I moved to Kyalami. And in that time, I also was involved in developments in Cape Town. So I do have quite a wide, database and knowledge of property in South Africa. So with these new ideas and the drive to stay ahead of the game, I'm really focused on escalating Belicio to greater heights as the boutique agency in this country, or the premier, the top boutique agency. So that's my plan.
Exciting times. Exciting times.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
yeah. Thank you.
So how does Felicia collaborate with other professionals or businesses to enhance, your services and your client offering? Once again, I'm not asking you to give us your secret sauce.
Yeah,
You want to keep
yeah.
that secret sauce, as you say. Somebody might grab that secret sauce of yours, but maybe just, in broader terms.
Sure. I think collaboration is something that's always been very important to me. I think from the beginning when I started learning, you rely on collaboration because you don't have stock of your own, you don't have clients of your own. So I mean, that was 14 years ago, but it was important then and it's important now, because when you bring a client who's a hot prospect, who's got cash and he's ready to buy, you're looking to collaborate maybe with somebody else who has what they're looking for. And so it's a dying industry for those who don't share and who don't collaborate, because you'll find it's in the best interest of your client and the seller to match those two together. So it's actually the responsibility of the agent to do that. And when you find agents who are not happy to work together, it really is just at the detriment of the clients. So we work closely with interior designers and architects and financial advisors and legal experts to provide a holistic service, but we also rely on the collaboration with other agents. So I really want to enhance that and promote it, that Felicia is definitely open to collaboration, and we want to meet people, we want to work together, and we hope that we will change the rhetoric to other agencies also just moving more towards that as well. So yeah, these partnerships enhance the overall client experience, and we want to deliver seamless transactions and help just have happy clients. So that's our aim.
Yeah, let's pivot a little bit towards the luxury real estate market, and I mean with the focus possibly Atlantic Seaboard and other areas you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, obviously in Johannesburg. What are the biggest challenges that you see you facing in the luxury real estate market, and how do you see Valicia tackling them?
Well, so I did mention already some of the more common challenges is the traditional mindsets amongst agents who resist collaboration. But in terms of the challenges on the high end, with the more high priced ticket items, I think the challenge is actually matching a qualified buyer to those properties. So that is a lot of the reason why I have all these big ideas. And I've actually had some of these bigger price properties on my portfolio, and I've said to myself, I'm gonna sit here and put the property on Property 24 or my website and just hope for the best. And some of these property owners don't want their property on Property 24. So that also enhances the challenges, because the traditional, like if anyone's looking for those higher priced properties, they will traditionally look for what's the country's property website, Property 24. So then they'll look there. So immediately when the discerning seller doesn't want that exposed on those platforms, then you have to go, well, how am I going to sell this? And how am I going to attract enough attention for people all over the world to see this property? And so you have to start getting pretty inventive. And that's kind of my secret cards, but maybe not so secret because I'm sure somebody's doing it. But yeah, we aiming on just focusing on those sort of plans and international collaboration, which is already well on its way. But as I've said, Felicia is very early days, so we're just doing one step at a time.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about sort of inspiration, role models. Is there someone whose life or work you admire and find inspiration in? And has this in any way influenced your career or personal philosophy in how you deal with your business?
Yeah. Let me see where you are now. Okay,
I
yes.
skipped you
Yes.
because you covered
Okay, no problem.
it.
Yes, so inspiration and role models. I would say that my business partner, Rube, has been the biggest role model in the world of property. She's been a very humble property mogul, I would say. So she started off very young and I think for her, her role model was her mother. So she went to university, and I think already she was following in her mother's footsteps in regards to property. And she started her own agency, but already building up her own portfolio. So she had her own real estate agency managing her own portfolio. So when I met her on the basis of wanting to understand property so that I myself could invest in property. And I didn't want to make too many mistakes. I think as you do work in property, you will naturally make mistakes, but you can try limit them. So that was my idea and how I got to meet Roubaix. And she has just been amazing and she's very knowledgeable. She has made property her entire life and she plays in it, she buys, she sells, so she has her own portfolio. And now she has her own company, Home in Hector, which is under the umbrella of BKB. And since then, her and I have just worked so well together that we now at the position where we've started Felicia, which is also under the same umbrella of companies, but now it's our baby, and we can really put all our efforts and inspiration and ideas into it. And it's been a lovely journey working with her, really.
It's great to have a brand backing you as well. Some big brands that also, underpin, also a great new brand in the market. So let's talk a little bit
Yes.
about your legacy. What legacy do you have to leave in the world, and both within the real estate industry and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, that's quite a broad question, but yeah, I hope to leave a legacy within the property area of professionalism and integrity in real estate, because I think that there has been, um, let's say, a lot of unprofessionalism in the industry, because it started off where you didn't have to have any sort of qualification, you didn't have to have studied anything, you didn't need a certificate, and Auntie May next door could sell your house, because she knew that you was wanting to sell, and not knowing anything about property, about legislation, about anything. Um, so I think from there stemmed a lot of unprofessionalism, and luckily the PPRA have done a lot to correct that. And so now there is a level of professionalism, there's a level of knowledge that you need to have to sell a house, and obviously that's all very individual. You still have individuals that will take pride in being the most professional and some that won't. But I hope to sort of put it out there that this is a profession and one needs to know what they're doing, and you need to be a professional. And there's a lot that goes with that. So beyond the industry, I want to be remembered as someone who prioritized meaningful relationships and empowered others and contributed positively to the industry, and also on a personal note to my community. So I guess that would be more personal, but on property, definitely I'd like to raise the standard.
Wonderful. Sarah Davies, thank you once again for your time and your
Thank
valuable
you.
perspectives on the exciting South African real estate market. Wonderful chatting to you. And we really look forward to seeing how the Velitia luxury real estate brand continues to evolve and impact the South African luxury high-end property market. And we're going to keep watching for you, and the market's going to be watching for you. So to everybody, I'm Neil Peterson signing out with Sarah Davies. Thank you for chatting. It was great and very inspirational.
Thanks so much, Neil. Thanks for having me. We'll chat again.